Alright, so after looking at the different variations or different versions of Shido or Emiya, here we are with the altars. And yeah, just maybe inform me on altars that I've just never even heard about, and maybe if the alternate version is stronger than the original. But most of the time, I feel like, yeah, the original is going to be better. It's just, yeah, the altar is just maybe that one or two different thing that makes them more evil or something. Yeah, give them that more villainous evil aspect, and yeah, to where they will kill you, right, without much hesitation or something, if some of them are going to be evil. And just have more what evil type of attacks. So yeah, just be like more sharp, maybe slice type of attacks. But yeah, here we go, a good 15-minute from weakest to strongest. And yeah, I'm expecting to see, yeah, Emiya alter, and maybe it's another version of Emiya. Yeah, if there's another alternate version. But other than that, I'm gonna start this up here. Hope you guys will enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe, and yeah, let's get this reaction started.
So I was looking back at the catalog, and it's been a couple of years since we've talked about the alter forms. So that's what we're on.
Oh,
today.
alter form explain. I might look at that.
Single alter form so far. Of course, that's gonna be excluding the duplicates and the servants.
Actually, you know, I see from Otaku, if you got that. I haven't seen
and I'm not about to spoil myself just
Otaku in a minute.
Now, for our first competitor,
okay,
we have Lalter, Lancer Artoria Alter. Now I know a lot of people are gonna get pissed off at this.
3 in 1.
I don't care. I really don't. So here's the thing. You guys are familiar with the way that I scale my videos. I go by feats and skills, and then we talk about the power. I don't care what you could have did, what you should have did, what you're thinking about doing. I care about what you did. And the fact of the matter is, she ain't do shit. Now, is that her fault? No.
Yo.
For some reason, I feel like they just made her character, and it's almost like,
I mean, it looks cool.
You know, she only shows up in the first half of Grand Order. She comes to us in a couple of events.
You're telling me nothing?
Her role isn't that impactful. Even if I were to reach
okay, I've seen that before.
Lion King, it's already been stated that she only has a fraction of the true Lion King's power. So that really wouldn't be accurate either. If I were going strictly off of power, she would be somewhere near the top of the list. She has Rongo Miniad, which we know rivals Excalibur in strength, but since she has nothing to show for, and that's only the London Singularity, which we just beat her and she gets out the way, until she gets some more feats, I gotta leave her at the bottom. Next up, we got Atalanta. So a good portion into the way that she thinks is in Lost Belt 1. She doesn't really have any real threats in the Lost Belt to her specifically. I will say that there is a segment where they went against servant level Oprichnik. That's about as far as that goes. We do, however, know from the way that she handles logistics that she's quick on her feet. She's capable of making good decisions. The way that she was able to find hidden paths and materials lets us know that she can be good under pressure. The other half being an Apocrypha. You know, this is when she goes.
Yeah, I remember that.
She makes her transformation out of her archer state when she goes up against Joan.
I can never forget those Apocrypha fights. Never.
She is ruler class, but Joan is still a mostly defensive spirit. Any feats against Joan really wouldn't be that spectacular anyway, because she's not actually trying to fight back. She's just trying to survive. Then you have the fact that even if she was capable of beating Joan, she wouldn't, because Joan had a narrative purpose to stay alive, right? She had to use her La Pucelle against Shiro, so she wouldn't have beat her anyway. But at the very least, you know, she always kept her on her toes, and when she went up against Achilles, you can say the same thing. She is an incredible archer, and you're not just gonna put some average Joe next to her. And that's in her regular form. In her alter form, she's even more terrifying. And when she went against Achilles, I know a lot of people really didn't pay attention to this because it was about Achilles, but she was landing some severely fatal hits against Achilles while they were fighting. The story tells us several times that she was piercing his vital organs. If it was another servant, he wouldn't have survived. The thing about Achilles is that he was just ignoring the pain. All in all, she still was contending with the ruler, and she still contended with Achilles, who is a top servant. He was fatigued from his previous fight.
Yeah, it's fatigued
as well from fighting with Joan. It all comes full circle. Next up, we got the guy.
Oh, okay, Alter.
Who is a version of Shiro, that strived so long for his goals that he ended up losing his humanity. He falls more in line with the Kirisugu train of thought, meaning he's gonna do whatever it takes. He is a counter guardian, but I do want to point out that the counter force is gonna empower you with just enough to get the job done. So that doesn't mean that he's busted or anything like that. In fact, if we're going just by his base parameters, they're actually pretty bad.
An E rank luck? Okay, yeah, I can see the
highest body counts
okay.
on his list.
The
Just
third
going off
weakest.
The introduction in Shinjuku, we know that he off-screened 2 darkened servants the moment that he arrived. That being the Lancer and the Saber from Moriarty's group, the Phantom Demon Alliance. He later takes out the Phantom of the Opera, straight nuking him with the bomb that he had planted inside. We know that he took out Moriarty's meteor, which in the chapter specifically had enough power to blow up the entire planet via the Earth's core. The thing about this is that while Salter was the one that swept up the debris, Emiya was the one that bust open the meteor on his own merits, that being Unlimited Lost Works. You have the Seraph chapter where he tactfully immobilized Tomacat by hitting her spirit origin with one of his bullets. He has access to a 5-kilometer cable that he used to help save Meltrolis. He executed a few of the Seraphix members with no restraint. He survived a fatal wound from the beast Kiara and then fended off one of Kiara's demon god hairs, which we know can take you out in one hit. Then turned around and executed Kiara on top of that by landing the finishing blow. All of this despite having his injury from before. So it goes without saying that his ability to survive is top notch. Then we have Jalter, Joan of Arc, Alter. She is an alter form created by Jill using the Grail. In the 100-year singularity, she has access to a number of powers that she wouldn't normally have. The great dragon Fafnir, several wyvern, being able to summon 7 servants under her wing that operate on her accord. Despite these being boosts that she was able to make with the power of the Grail, she does still have merits on her own. From the time that we get there, she hunted down the priest Pierre and burned him alive. She beat Siegfried, who we know was able to match the demigod Karna for several hours straight. Her flame phantasm has
Karna?
coverage, being able to trap the spirit Hessian Lobo long enough for us to fight. It's in your best interest that you don't get caught in this. I mean, if we're just looking at Emiya Alter, she had Emiya Alter on the run. He was gonna use her to his advantage, and he was like, man, her phantasm is so good that I'd rather just not deal with her at all. And he retreated to the nearby skyscraper. And even after he retreated, he still could feel the flames, and she was on the ground. He's at the top of the skyscraper, and she's on the ground, and he can still feel her phantasm. That's how much coverage she has. She survived several fatal back-to-back wounds from the composite Avenger, Hessian Lobo. This is after he was combined
That's
with
looking
Invisible,
clean right
making
there.
him even stronger than he was before. Then we have Salter.
Okay.
Saber, Alter. She's one of those characters that's kind of grown into her own thing. The thing about Salter is that she was a servant of Sakura. And with Sakura being the second Grail, Salter by extension had an unlimited mana supply. That's what really made her so good. Without that, she's just a more brash version of Saber. If you look at her stats, you'll see a decrease in agility and luck
A++.
in exchange for mana and strength. We know that she took out several lives from Hurt. You might be thinking, oh, that's only because she had the reserves to do it. Well, you got to remember the Fate route, where as her Saber form, she took 6 lives from Hurt at once, and that was using Caliburn, which is weaker than Excalibur Morgan. So to be honest, her taking multiple lives from Hurt isn't that much of a stretch. She might not take as many, but she definitely would have took a couple anyway. You got her role at the beginning of FGO, where she single-handedly beat every other servant in the war. Don't get it twisted, she will bring those problems. If we're looking at Shinjuku, we had Emiya himself mention that if you think Jalter is a problem, then Salter is even worse than that. And he was running from Jalter. This is the person that had several bodies. As I mentioned before, she's the one that helped get rid of the debris from the meteor, which was still capable of destroying the entire singularity. This did take her life, but again, this is after an entire singularity's worth of work. You better come stepping the right way. Then there's mysterious heroine X Alter. She is a gag character that happens to come from our Star Wars event. She's literally Space Artoria, but Alter. She has incredible base parameters except her luck, and even that's not bad, it's just average. She's extremely powerful, not only having access to Excalibur as a lightsaber, but she's also able to manifest literal creatures from parallel worlds to fight for her. In the Servant verse, she actually went up against Lancelot in a 1v1, beat him, and threw him into space. So for all the people that would think Lancelot would automatically just curb stomp Artoria, you got another thing coming. That's another huge misconception that I see a lot. Just because somebody is stronger or more skilled doesn't mean that they can't lose. And just because a person loses doesn't make them any less strong. It could fall completely on circumstances. You know, in Fate it gets more complicated than that. You have Okita Alter, who is also a counter guardian. Now originally Okita Alter was yet another gag character that ended up making her way into the real stories. There has been some slight shifts in the way that she conducts her behavior because of that fact. At first she was this all-encompassing being that got the job done, and then she got out the way. Now in Grand Order they tried to give her a bit of humanity, and it started to kind of show gaps in her skill set. You know, she had a bout with Iza Okada and she was hardly able to defend herself. Same thing goes with Nobu. We do know that she helped face off against the demon god Makuzu, which is literally said to be on the level of a god because it's empowered by the Grail. This entity will be stronger than Nobu and Izo combined, so that alone puts her on another plane. Back in Fate Koha Ace, she actually took this creature out all on her own. In the newer versions they had her do this with help. She is the highest level of Okita that we will possibly ever see, and her phantasm is so powerful that it can reach the realm of nothingness. You have the statement from Ryoma saying that she's on a completely different level, you can hardly even gauge it. Then we got Ku Alter, the embodiment of I Could Care Less. Ku Alter is an absolute monster.
That's
he too was empowered by the Grail, making his scaling get kind of weird. We do know that he eviscerated pretty much anything that fell in his path. He beat Nero in her own reality marble and tossed her to the side. He brutally wounded Skyhawk, his own teacher, for 90% of her health, forcing her to make a retreat. He nearly took out MASH until Merlin had to intervene and displace his entire phantasm.
Oh yeah, he better be good looking like that.
We find out that he fatally wounded the great hero Rama, nearly gouging out his entire heart. The dude was just on a rampage for the entire chapter. So just think Ku with ridiculous amounts of power, and he has help from his gear on top of that.
Yeah, and what is
now,
he?
You know you make way for a true demon.
Oh yeah,
Heracles Alter. He is a character.
Yeah, you ain't gotta say more.
Strange Fate. If you're familiar with Heracles, you already know he's one of the strongest servants in Fate. This version being stronger than the one shown in Stay Night. At the cost of his immortality, he has access to a phantasm for each one of his labors, so he has 12 different phantasms, some of which we haven't even seen yet. He has access to his own pet familiar. No, it is not just some bird, it is the three-headed hellhound Cerberus.
More like about 4, like yo.
Story and told him he was trash.
That
the
snake.
Same guild that everybody puts on a pedestal, the same guild that everybody for some reason believes is the only good servant in Fate. Yeah, he said, "You're weak. I'ma need you to show me something different." Gil was like, "Oh, and who are you supposed to be? Your worst nightmare. Nice to meet you. I won't even take this fight serious until you pull out Aya. Until then, this is just jokes to me." But this time around, he's not being held back by Ilya, not being held back by his madness, and he has all of his phantasms. And lastly, can we get a round of applause? Arjuna Alter, God Juna. Unlike most of the people in Fate, Arjuna is a spirit that's composed entirely from the Lost Belt. We normally shouldn't have him, but all of this is fiction anyway, so it really doesn't matter regardless. I'll say it right now, he is without a doubt one of the strongest spirits in Fate. Period. He has nearly every god from the Hindu pantheon, including primordials like Shiva and Vishnu inside of him. He has access to a phantasm that can conceptually collapse the entire world itself. In the Lost Belt, he's done this multiple times. The Lost Belt itself being India, that would mean that he was collapsing all of India. And he did this several times over and over again with the help of the fantasy tree. Had the Lost Belt successfully covered proper history, then that would be him collapsing the entire earth. Now, for most servants, when they talk about taking down the entire planet, they usually just mean taking off a texture or a layer of the planet. You know, Fate normally operates in layers instead of them talking about blowing up the entire planet to pieces. That's why I usually use the word devastate. But in God Juna's case, you got to understand that, like I said, while they make him look like he's not as strong as he actually is sometimes, he would be the character that could actually blow up the planet. If you look at his regular form, this man can literally create warps in space that destroys everything that's around it. Shiva is a god that can destroy the entire universe, and God Juna has that deity inside of him. So destroying Earth would be nothing. But again, for the people who don't know, he's not supposed to exist. He wasn't on our side to begin with, so it's like, well, why don't you just call on him? He was the enemy. That was the whole point. We did get him as a servant just for the sake of having him, but that's all that truly is. He even ended the world while we were in the Lost Belt, and Karna was able to protect us through his ties in the story.
Yeah, boy, Karna.
So there's that. Karna had to get a ton of buffs before he was able to even harm him. There is no one on this list that can compare to him. Some of the Grands couldn't even compare to him. Orion, obliterated. We're gonna keep running the polls. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you want to see some more weakest to strongest videos, we can do that, or we can just go down the line and see which ones you guys want the most. I did want to throw in Galahad Altar, but he just came out, so we'll just have to wait a little bit on that.
Okay, and then that should be it for this one. Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, I looked at that Lost Belt a long time ago, but I should have, of him, and it was like him versus Karna. So I think, this could just come in full circle, reminding me back of that whole situation there. But yeah, okay, well, there we go. Yeah, that's just right here. That's to be expected. When I was listening to that, what was it, Heracles? Like, I think, it was like a 50-minute something, just talking about, the strengths of him and what he was capable of, even the different versions. I listened to him right here. I'm like, that's it, you got it. I don't know why I can't think of the name of the video, but it was not my own video, but like, I think it was like how strong, or don't sleep on Heracles. Yeah, that's what it was. Yep, don't sleep on him. I mean, the immortality is taken away, but like, what's really stopping him from still being immortal? Like, if anything, he's becoming even more immortal. Like, he may not have the lives or nothing, but no, he still, it still feel like that. And this dude, what is he doing with all this? I was about to say, what is he doing with like 9 different swords, including like, whatever it is on his head. But no, it looks like a whole bunch of gay bulks. Yeah, once it even still, that's, man. Yeah, I don't know. That's something different. Okay. But yeah, I see it. Seeing them weakest from strongest, I can tell. And even that, Emiya, I can't even, man. I just, I'ma just accept that. Like, I want my boy to be higher. I mean, that's Emiya. No matter what version I mean, it depends, but no matter what version, really, like, I mean, that's just my boy. That's my boy Shido. But yeah, with that type of, what, that was an E luck stat. Hold up, down. I went a little too far. That's crazy. Yeah, and you gotta remember, like, yeah, still like that human type of strength. Yeah, that agility. Yeah. But that luck, no matter what type of fight you're in, I mean, you better hope for something, because, man, I don't know. That luck is crazy. Well, if anything, I guess it shouldn't have, yeah, that's his endurance right here, right? The whole Kiar, when he got hit by that. But, okay. Got me introduced to, like, a couple of more alters than John, yeah, who I've seen already, and even in the memorial movie, right, for the was it anniversary, I forgot what number, like 8th or something, anniversary of Fate Grand Order. Yes, like I was seeing her, and even Tsiah was explaining, but I was thinking, like, okay, have I ever gotten, like, properly introduced to this version? And I didn't know if it was just straight up, you know, John alter, or was it like another name for her. But yeah, I can see it now. And yeah, and this is also what I mean. Yeah, you know, maybe them becoming stronger, or at least the alternate version being stronger, just because, yeah, they got that evil intent, and maybe have, yeah, way more deadly attacks. Like, it's basically the same thing, you know, exact, yeah, just parallel or something, right? Same thing, but just the attacks, you know, the way how they attack, and maybe their abilities that they may have, or whatever they have at their arsenal, yeah, it's gonna be more deadly. Now Saber, man, you definitely don't gotta worry about her. That says plus. Agility, okay, D. Yeah, I know the alter, yes, it's different, so I'm not gonna yeah, just act confused on that. But man, after seeing that how strong is Saber video, I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was by Seth or someone. Yeah, they just basically were showing and explaining how Saber could really you know, defeat someone, I guess, like Superman, or at least have the type of strength or whatever to, I guess, be on par or something, Saitama or Goku, you know. So I saw that and I was like, wow, so yeah, she's really that quick, you know. The whole what was it, Sojiro, yeah, when he did those 3 slashes at once, yeah, it's like she was so quick to dodge that, because really, yeah, those slashes, like, they're so quick that basically, yeah, you can basically see your death, you know. Like, it's already hit you, and pretty much you just have no time to react. Like, yeah, it's like, it may seem like the present as you're, you know, about to get hit by them, but nah, it's like yeah, it's already in the future. Like, your fate has already been determined after those slashes, or once they even yeah, get close to you. So yeah, I saw that speed feat, and definitely some other things. So Saber, I'm not even gonna be surprised if she's way up here, whatever, after seeing that. Other than that, I think I'm gonna end it off here, and yeah, go from there. Bro is so strong, yeah, can't even, yeah, he's not even supposed to be there. But other than that, I'm gonna end it off here. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe again, and y'all see you guys in the next one.